Welcome to Showtime Sports Podcast with your host, Melvin Shows and Frank Salazar Jr., Victoria's exclusive podcast.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, today is the day. I have a very special guest with me today. He's a five-time Teenage World Tag Team Champion from Houston, Texas, Shawn Hernandez, a.k.a. SuperMex. How's it going, buddy?
What's going on, Melvin? And everybody, welcome to Showtime's podcast. We're going to have a great time for this next, say, quasi hour.
Well, we can go ahead and jump right into it, man. How did you start in wrestling?
That's pretty easy. I didn't want a real job. I did college football, played 2 years of arena football, then I did powerlifting. I had a wife and kid at the time, and you don't win no money as a powerlifter, so I was working in the gym, and then WWF at the time came in, Gold Gym, and said, hey, you should be a wrestler. And like 2 weeks later, I started up with Tugboat School of Wrestling.
And you're wrestling, you wrestled with TNA, you're currently signed with them. You do your independent stuff on the side. You wrestled with Ring of Honor, New Japan. You wrestled with Lucha Underground. In your opinion, you like wrestling for TNA? What's your special, what company do you prefer to wrestle with?
Well, obviously, TNA is one of the biggest things they had. I wrestled out in Japan, I wrestled in Mexico, AAA, and I love AAA. Lucha Underground was probably my favorite, just for the fact that, you got treated like a star. Not a wrestling star, but a real movie star. And so you show up, they pick you up from the airport, they give you a per diem. How many days you gonna be here? I'll be here 3 days. Pop, pop, pop. You got $150 in your hand. So I'm chilling. They give you a nice hotel downtown in Hilton. They have those candy bars and all the snack room stuff, with the refrigerator. It's already comped. So, and they fill it up every day. So I'm living the dream, sir. Then I go to the show. They pick you up, take you to the show, and they have craft services for like candy bars, protein bars, Red Bulls, different things like that. And I'm just stuffing my bag left and right. As many as you want. So I'm full, and then they go, hey, what would you like for breakfast? I'm like, holy hell, I get breakfast too? So, you want beef, chicken, or vegan? I'm good, whatever you want. Beef, I'll take beef, I'll take 2 beefs. By the time you get done from breakfast and lunch and all craft services, you're full and your bag is full because you can't hold no more food. I came from a normal guy. I was unloading trucks for like $8 an hour at Office Max. Unloading trucks to make a big money at TNA. I didn't realize all these movie stars and TV stars get treated this well. That's ridiculous. That's even happen. So then you get to the show. You go to the show, hey, what size are you? And I'm 13 for the front. In 2 weeks, they have brand new boots made for me from Mexico. So they have a seamstress and wardrobe guy right there waiting for you. And your gear is made within 3 or 4 days. So you wrestle from each other ground. After your match, you hand in your wrestling gear and they dry clean it before they bring it back to you. The only thing that sucks about Lucha Underground was, because they filmed it like a TV series. Right. So it lasts 4 months. It don't last the whole year. If it lasts the whole year, I will never left.
Yeah, it's basically like a season.
Yes, sir.
Now, you've been wrestling since, 1996?
Too long.
Too long. What is your worst injury to date?
I have 2. I have an ankle fusion in my left thigh, plates and screws in there. I have a neck fusion from 2009. Scott Steiner threw me in a bad suplex, and it was just like this in front of my head, like this. That's why, since 2009, I haven't lifted weights. Because
you don't need it.
No, because the neck fusion, I don't put all that weight in my neck.
Right.
And then have to keep getting neck fusion, that sucks.
Yeah. Who's your favorite person to tag with?
So you put me on the spot. That's one question I was not prepared for.
I mean, you wrestle.
Whoever I don't pick is gonna get mad.
I mean, you wrestle with a numerous amount of people. You know, AJ Styles. You wrestled with Samoa Joe. You wrestled with Homicide, Chavo Guerrero. I was gonna go out on a limb and say you were gonna say Chavo Guerrero right off the bat. But
Okay. Well, you know, if I say Chavo, Homicide's gonna be bad. If I say Homicide, Chavo's gonna be bad. So I plead the fifth. I plead the fifth.
Tell us what makes SuperMex tick.
You see, I'm drinking right now, so of course, that's what helps. I was just have a passion for wrestling. I love wrestling. And number one, I love Texas style wrestling. You know, I respect the old days from Houston wrestling, World Class Wrestling, and Southwest Championship Wrestling. Those were the big things when I was growing up as a kid. And those guys were not just heroes, they were icons. The Von Erichs, the Guerreros, Wahoo McDaniels, Dr. Death Steve Williams. Guys like that, I mean, men.
Yeah.
Those guys, I was very fortunate. I was a young man. In 2001, Dr. Death Steve Williams picked me to go to All Japan with him because he was a foreigner boss.
Right.
So he got decided he got to come to Japan and was a foreigner. And I idolized this guy from the 80s.
Yeah.
And here's this tough guy, he's picking me to come to All Japan. I'm like, wow. He was so good to me. He was great.
How much do you actually drink in a day?
Okay, there, beer cop. During this pandemic, sir, everyone is bored.
Right.
Everyone cannot maybe go outside because you have to wear a mask. You might kill someone with COVID.
Right.
So, what does most people do? Staying at home,
Drinking.
getting drunk, getting fat. Eating too much. I got injured in the early part of 2020. I ate too much, I drank too much, and I blinked, I gained 20 pounds.
Oh, nice.
No, that's not good for me.
Well, I mean, you're
Oh no,
you're a pretty toned guy. I mean, for your
see,
size.
Okay,
So.
you see what I want after that.
Right.
I mean, after me and my wife said enough's enough, hey, stop being fat, lose some weight. But yes, it helps because when your wife wants you, because you get older, like, oh, do vegan, do keto, how do you say that word?
Not keto.
What does that word mean?
Oh, I mean, yes, keto is the word you're looking for, but we did not do that diet. Absolutely not.
Okay, food you would never eat on purpose.
Vegan, yes.
Food you would eat on purpose, I have to eat.
So, who's your favorite person to travel with besides your wife?
Oh man, you put me on the spot again. I mean, Chavo was awesome. Cause he likes the same kind of music I do. But Homicide's the most interesting. It's the fact that as much as I like to drink beer, he's the same thing with the 420. So imagine him driving when it's his turn to drive.
Oh God.
And he finds a hotel fast striking. It's when he's sober you can't trust him to drive.
Who's your? How's it working with Conan? He's an old school wrestler, and actually, me and my wife were watching some videos on YouTube of when you were with LAX, Latin American Exchange. How was it working with him? Because he's an old WCW guy. So how was it working with that guy?
Well, Conan is a legend for every Hispanic male fan, wrestler, and all the whole world. This guy blazed a trail for everyone, every guy who wanted to wrestle on American TV. Good, bad, or ugly. If you don't like Conan, cool. If I don't like Conan, cool. But he is a legend just for the fact that he's the first. We said, yes, there's no Mascaras and guys like that. Pedro Morales, like this. But as growing up, I saw Conan in WCW. I saw Corey made there for 20,000 people on a regular basis in AAA.
Right.
So yes, he is the no-all be-all Latin icon for all of us. So just to be on the same show with this guy is great because he's going to cover his spot on the microphone.
Oh, for sure.
You know, because he's been doing it for so long and people relate to it. You know, he's got the young mind. He can be 30, 40, 50, 60, even 80 years old. No one cares. He has a young mind. He knows what's going to get people mad. He knows what people get people happy. He knows how you should chill and boo just like that.
Yeah.
So it's up to myself and Homicide to match the energy that he did on the mic. So it was challenging.
Yeah. You beat your own drum.
Yes, sir. Unfortunately, yes.
What I don't know if I wanted to ask this question. I was thinking about it.
Well, it's too late now.
I know it kind of pisses me off when people say wrestling's fake. How does it make you feel? Like when somebody, oh, wrestling's fake, you know, all this and that. How does that make you feel coming from, you know, the professional wrestling standpoint of it?
Well, you see me on Rock, right?
Right.
Remember the
Yeah.
TV show? You know, F-word is really, really bad.
Right.
You know, fake.
Right.
You know, myself, I have to embrace a little bit because I live in reality. I live in 2021 where I go to a bar, or I go to a restaurant, or I go to the mall. Hey, you're a big dude, what do you do? I try not to say nothing because the competition might be bad. But sooner or later, it's, hey, what do you do for a living? So, hey, I do wrestling. You do MMA or the fake stuff? So right there, I have to make a choice. Do I punch this guy in the face? And possibly, more likely, go to jail? You know, let me look at my credit card and I have $300 to go to jail that night.
Yeah.
Or shall I let this guy have a pass, hey, and educate him, hey, this sport is different than what you think it is. And it's a challenge to me, you know, especially these days because MMA is so popular right now. So immediately, every wannabe tough guy, if you say you wrestle, that's the first thing that comes out of their mouth. Is it MMA or the fake stuff? So it's better for me staying home.
Tell them to get in that 20 by 20, right?
Oh, it's better for me to stay home, I trust you.
I actually had a coworker of mine. I mentioned that I was going to interview you, and he's like, "Whoa, Hernandez." He said, "Is he related to Gino Hernandez out of Houston? Paul Bosch promotion?" No.
Gino was awesome. I mean, you know, he was gone way too soon, drug issues, but that guy could perform like that was business.
Yeah.
It's out the way.
What's your ultimate goal? You know, you've been wrestling for 20 plus years. What's your ultimate goal in wrestling now? In wrestling now, as opposed to, like, you know, are you coming to an end, or what do you want to do? You know, I know that you never got a TNA world title shot, which I was kind of upset about. But I mean, what's your ultimate end goal in wrestling?
For myself, ultimate end goals, maybe go, we talked about this off the air. I told my wife, I'm going to go 2 more years.
Right.
Unfortunately, I've been told that's in 2017, so, you know, I had a couple bad years in 2020, health-related, but I'm back full speed. I really want to go hard as I can for 2 years. My dad is a retired Green Beret veteran. He owns a winery in Palestine, Texas. You know, go check it out. His vineyard and smokehouse. Because guess what, guys? 2025, I will own it. That's my end goal. I'm going to be owning a vineyard, and y'all can keep this wrestling stuff. Because after 2025, unless you see me at some like convention hall or some Comic-Con waving something on the grass, you're never ever gonna see me because I'm too busy having fun, making wine and making money.
Well, I'm sure my wife would love to drive up there and visit that place.
have to get the sangria. That's the best. I promise you. My dad is an old man. He's in his 80s. He's got the perfect formula for sangria. If you're a sangria drinker, you have to get this product.
What was your first ever match in professional wrestling? Can you remember back that far? No, I mean, you've been wrestling a while, so I mean, we've had a lot of matches.
I think it was 96 or 97. I wrestled the Galveston Boys and Girls Club. My trainer was Tugboat Taylor, and he called me and said, "Hey, on Wednesday, hey, you got a match Saturday. I've never had a match before. I don't have the gear, I don't have booze, I don't have nothing." So I had 3 days to figure it out. It's not like how wrestling's so popular now. You can order stuff on Amazon or on Wish or whatever you can order on and get it delivered like that. This is 97. We don't have that stuff back then. So I get to the show, I go to a stripper club, a strip club for dudes, and I got this like, these Speedos and this singlet that was too small. I was like 305 at the time. So my first match, and I hope it's not recorded, please. If you have this recorded, please burn it. I hope you answer me for this. I wore pink pants that were like MC Hammer.
Like Disco Inferno pants?
No, like Disco, no, like MC Hammer from, Can't Touch This Shit.
Yeah.
Those style with silver boots, like shiny silver boots. And I came out and they didn't have a wrestling name. I said, just call me Shawn. I don't have a name.
Yeah.
Call me Shawn. The kids and the Boys and Girls Club in Galveston would call me, Shazam, no. From Shaquille O'Neal, Kazam.
Oh God.
So I was getting killed by the crowd right off the bat. It was a very, very humbling experience.
Right. How did you get the SuperMex? I mean, obviously what are you weighing right now? 260? 260, you're 6'2". Who gave you the SuperMex title? That nickname?
Mr. Mike TNA, Mr. Mike TNA, one of the most underrated casters we have, bro. I mean, he's awesome. He knew how to put together stories, he knew how to put over wrestlers, make them bigger stars than they really were. I mean, him and Don West, very underrated guys, they came up with SuperMex and they came up with the name Border Toss one for my first and everything.
Do you keep up with the other promotions on who's doing what? Who's doing? I mean, obviously like AEW is real big right now. WWE, they just had the WrestleMania. Are you keeping up with all the stuff that's going on with other promotions, or you don't pay attention to stuff like that?
Not being negative. I'm an old man now. If it makes me money, I'm with Impact. So I watch what Impact's doing. WWE, I don't make the money. I don't make the money watching AEW. I'm happy for all my friends out there.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'm an old man. I have a wife, kids, wife. But like I live and watch TV. I don't like the sound right now. Obviously, someone's playing some music that sucks.
Could you please?
I think that's outside. Yeah.
Oh, it is outside.
Yeah. What's your biggest? What's your biggest dream? I mean, your wrestling career is you've had your wrestling career you've had for 25 plus years. What's your biggest dream as of now for your wrestling career, and what's your biggest regret?
My biggest dream now is to finish these next 2 or 3 years. Once I said 2 years, now I only added a year. Yes, don't get injured. Don't get majorly injured. My biggest regret is not being more aggressive in my stance in 2009 and 2010 as far as pushing for the world title. I didn't realize that maybe not everyone gets a chance to be world champion. I didn't take it as seriously as everyone else did. I don't like I was Spider-Man me. I want to build a whole product so we all making money. I don't, but it was one of my biggest regrets. If I would have pushed, as hard as Dixie Carter and Jim Cornette pushed for me to be the champion, I wish I was still in the same, wavelength and path. Hey, because I think we made a lot of noise in the wrestling industry if we had the first Hispanic champion in TNA in 2010 and not me. That's why I'm that way. It's okay.
It's okay. Sorry.
If you could wrestle anybody for the world title, who would it be?
It would have to be Sting, Kurt Angle, or AJ Styles. That's three of the best guys that have ever been in the ring. Hands down. A small fourth is Robert Roode. This guy is so good, so smooth, always in the right spot. He can make anybody look good. But I mean, this for like nostalgia, it will obviously be Sting, Kurt Angle, and then AJ Styles.
I know you're not on the podcast, but you don't have any questions for him? No?
Anybody in LA bar have a question?
I had a list of stuff I wanted to ask you, but
Well, we're not going to see part two. It's
you can always do a part two.
Especially when Rosario being so fucking cheap, giving you a bottle of beer instead of a draft. Jesus
Yeah.
Christ.
But cheers, man.
I mean, you're a guest. He's gonna offer you only get a bottle.
I appreciate you actually doing the podcast and taking time. I know you're a busy guy, so I appreciate it. It means the world to me.
Okay, that was a little non-straight, but okay.
Okay.
Hey, you know, to win, you do what you want to. That's cool, bro.
No.
That's cool. But I support Texas wrestling. I support things that happen in Texas. I'm from Texas. I've been here since I've been 12 years old. I love everything about Texas. So anything that helps Texas helps me. So much appreciated. Thank you for having me on.
Yes, sir. And I look forward to hopefully my friend Frank can actually jump in, my co-host that couldn't make it today because he's actually in the Tejano band. He plays the accordion, so he couldn't actually make it today. He wanted to be here, so I actually want to FaceTime him and see if he can talk to you for a few seconds.
You know, at least before you leave, definitely.
Yeah. Well, that way I can get
If you
him.
don't know anything about Tejano, accordion is the most important part of the whole band. It's like the dopest instrument to play. Because I mean, if you want like in a polka band or a Tejano band, accordion is kind of like nerdy. But for us, for us Hispanics, accordion is shit. I'm telling you.
All right, man. Well, I appreciate your time. We're going to end it out on a good note. Drink some beer, hang out, get in the wrestling ring, maybe take a bump.
Guys, you missed earlier. You missed Melvin here. Got in the ring during body slam practice and hit it the very first try. So I mean, pay attention to this guy. He's going places. His first try hit a body slam. Picture perfect. So check out his podcast, Showtime Productions.
I also want to give a shout out to my very first sponsor, Popular Bear Designs. They designed this nice cup that I have.
Cool.
Look them up on Facebook or Instagram. Have all the links in the post. All right. Stay tuned for the next episode with Shawn Hernandez, maybe a couple months down the road.
So you need to get attacked.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
It's showtime.
Tune in next week to Showtime's Sports Podcast.